Hi everyone, welcome to Book of Katherine. So today I was going to talk to my conservatives, but then I asked myself, well, which conservatives would that be? Would that be the conservatives who are the liberals, who just found out that their party has left them for communism? Would that be the moderate liberals who figured out that their party was asking them to bring in voters to overthrow a government and not out of charity? Would that be the libertarians who have figured out that they need to have a voice and the only way they can do it is by actually going to conservative conventions because that's the only place they'll be heard? Is that to independents because the media calls them conservative today? Would that just be Christian conservatives, the evangelicals, or would that be Catholic conservatives? Or would that be politician conservatives? Or would that be the right? Or would it be conservatives, the pundits, the ones who actually speak for the conservative party that the media says all of those groups actually are? I'm going to talk to the conservative pundits because you need to understand that you now represent all of us. All of us are being persecuted by the communist left. Anyone who isn't a communist is being called a conservative. And we have no choice but to listen to what they call a conservative on YouTube, on Twitter, anywhere. We're tracked for it. We're harassed for it. But when we turn to you guys, you're still in your bubble trying to determine which kind of conservative we are and whether or not we've fully converted to you. Whether or not we fit all the standards of a conservative. When will you finally accept the banner that the left has actually given you, which is the holder of all that is not left, the holder of all that is not communist, the holder of all that is American? When will you shed the script that you have had since birth, whatever your version is of conservatism? Because I've been watching videos for a while, and I can't figure out what a conservative is. I really can't. I can't figure out if you're a set of Judeo-Christian values. I can't figure out if you're small government. I can't figure out if you're just ethics. What I know is that you are a conglomerate of all of them now. That's why I can't figure it out. Because due to the actions of the left, because they have taken money, because of two actions, one by the Supreme Court, one by the McCain bill, because of the flow of money, and as your videos have told us, communism is a cancer. And as we know from the facts, Islam wants to dominate worldwide. And as we know, the UN laws have shown us, Agenda 21 wants to be in every city and every town and rule us, which is exactly why our teachers are being told, don't call your students boys or girls. But you're not pointing out that that's not the law. You're complaining about it, but you haven't told a single teacher, try it. See if they take you to court, because it's not the law. When are you going to take the banner and understand, instead of just saying the left has moved so far left, when are you going to understand why they've done that? Why aren't you looking at the laws? You keep saying, I see pundit after pundit going, I don't know why. I don't know why. Why have we done this? Just today I saw a pundit say, oh, gay marriage. I saw why they were doing this. They did it as much as I'm for gay marriage. I saw they were doing it to take away gender. What does gender really matter? So I wasn't surprised when they started taking away boys and girls. And I said, don't you say the humanoid robots? Didn't you see the MSNBC robot that said, yet I don't have the vote yet? I don't have the same rights? When robots have voting rights, democracy dies. That was the agenda from the beginning. They've been moving at a nice, smooth, steady, planned clip since 1992, started in 87. Where have you been? Instead of saying why? I'm not angry right now. Right now, I'm asking you to accept the consequences of what's happened by the left being bought, by the passage of the McCain bill, and by the passage of that Supreme Court law that said that corporations and companies are equal to individuals when it comes to funding. Now we have slush funds, which are not being pointed out through Congress. We have a tremendous amount of money. And I hear pundits saying, oh well, Soros. While Soros controls every single stage of curriculum, I haven't met a pundit who's actually read his websites. Maybe that's why you're not ahead of the game. While you're arguing about transgender, his or her, they're so happy. They're so happy because you're doing nothing that's effective. And the rest of us are all sitting out here going, arm us with information. Tell us what's coming. Oh, because they've told us what's coming. They lay it all out there, right out there. And you guys are the only ones who can tell us. You're the only ones with a voice. You're the only ones. What is it? Your sponsors won't let you tell us? Is that what it is? Is that why you tell us that we're not allowed to boycott? Oh my God. Let me get this straight. Like, please explain this to me. Our country was founded on people who did the Boston Tea Party and dumped tea overboard in order to start a revolution. Like, we're willing to upset a ship and dump it overboard in order to shake things up. But us, we have to be nice. We're supposed to win a war being nice. So that Amazon, the top 10 billionaires in America, are all liberals giving to liberal causes. And Amazon, number 2, Jeff Bezos, the only thing he's obsessed with more than sales is voters. Only thing he's obsessed with more than sales is voters. Voters. That's what Amazon is obsessed with, is making voters liberal. But your stance is, don't tell anyone. Don't tell anyone. So I go ahead and I do a little bit of research, and I find out that Walmart Walmart has a conservative owner, and boy, do they attack him online. Oh, the liberals don't shop there. They don't shop there. They don't shop there. They boycott it for sure. But you know what else happens? Google went to buy a book. And Google had 30 listings of where to buy a book. And they had Amazon at the top and Walmart at the bottom. You say you're trying to protect a free market? I'm looking around, baby. I don't see a free market. I don't see a free market. Let me get this straight. I'm allowed to practice free market principles by saying I want to choose that grocery store because they decide to have certain eggs there and they decide not to have those eggs there. That's a decision they've made. I want to shop there because they've made the decisions that mean they have better customer service. Then I won't go there. But this company decides to wage war in the arena of politics, but we're not allowed to know. I would like to know because I don't want to shop at a place that is involving itself in politics. I don't. Especially if they're the number one, number two business company in the world. When Google works in tandem with them, and let's not even start with that. How can you think that we have a free market when we have a hit and run society? When we have communism, we don't have a free market. We have communism on the run. You say, how do we get a monopoly when it's illegal? Let me guess. Oh, that's right. Twitter. Twitter's hate groups. You know, all the people that they employ, no one really gave a darn when we went in to Twitter at Project Veritas and they said, it seems like the whole community at Twitter just seemed to be an environment. The whole culture at Twitter was an environment of abuse of its users and disdain and abuse and hate for their users. And isn't that funny that it turns out that, that's what they do. And then we find out that they kept all of our passwords in a text document for all of them to have access to. And then we find out that, hey, if you build something that's going to compete with a bigger competitor, they'll just hate bomb you. We find out from their own logs, crash override networks, that a real tweet from one of theirs, because they're special, they have all their fake tags. They're like, one of my fake profiles actually got retweeted 1.2 thousand times. They were shocked at 1.2 thousand retweets. That's how shocked they were. They couldn't believe it at 1.2 thousand retweets. That tells you how real 172,000 likes is. I can't believe we ever bought. I talking to an insider, and I was looking at a video, and I was just like, oh my God, I think this has been seen like it wasn't supposed to be seen. It has like 4 million views on it. Like, I don't think it was supposed to be seen. And they're like, don't worry, those are fake, don't worry. And I was like, oh, I just did that whole thing. On how these numbers are fake, and I bought it. You can type in numbers. How do we have a free market when 3 companies own the little numbers and can just go delete? I can't believe that we are being so nice as to be like, don't tell them Don't tell them that Amazon and all 10 billion people are all liberals and they're actually waging war against you and trying to eliminate you and eliminate your kind and eliminate your way of thought and supporting all the universities. But don't tell them, because they might actually shop somewhere else. I can't even begin to comprehend that. I can't even begin to comprehend that. I am just like, you guys would never, ever have beaten the Cold War. Ever. Ever. Why don't you let us make that decision? Why don't you let us make that decision? Because let me clue you in on something. Let me just put this in perspective for you. You know, when all those companies boycotted the NRA on behalf of the DNC, you know, Alamo, I'm sure you're so upset that I'm actually saying their names. You know, Enterprise, Rent-A-Car, they just dumped the NRA because the DNC came and asked them to, just like that, just like the governor of New York just sent out a mandate to all the businesses in New York and just said, drop all your NRA memberships. Yeah, that's democracy. That is the cost. JFK was a lifelong NRA member and said we need a nation of Minutemen. And the DNC at the same time is doing sanctuary states, letting armed criminals out the back door. Gun running. But they cover those stories up. They cover for the criminals. They covered for Jodi Arias. They made excuses for her. But the people who actually teach gun control, who actually support gun control and gun laws and fund it, the people who actually said, why don't we actually do background checks? Those are the people who have to be eliminated. Why is it that every communist country, when they fell, the very first thing they did was take away all the guns? It is incredible to me, but that isn't what the conservative pundits are talking about. Oh, no. So let me ask you why it is that when the DNC had all these people take it away from the NRA, that the first thing they did was wipe all of the gun owners who actually posted their videos saying, all right, well, these companies took away our membership rights, so let's not use them anymore. Wasn't that their right? And what did Google do? Google censored every video offline. They censored every tweet offline. They deleted every single list offline. That list never got published, ever. And isn't it interesting that you conservatives help them to do that? I can't imagine how they got so big. You don't give us the ability. Unless Starbucks takes away Christmas lights on their cup. How hypocritical is that? How dare you? How dare you say it's okay when Starbucks, what? How is that the free market? But this is, I can't even begin. Let us make that choice. You can say it's your preference, but let us make that choice. Because it's not just you anymore. It's all of us. I want democracy. I'm a freaking independent. But I don't want Amazon messing with voters. I don't want Amazon in politics at all. I hate the fact that they're number 2. And I know that if they're number 2 and they're that huge company, and now what are they doing? All of a sudden, now that they're doing tariffs on China, what they're doing? What are they doing? They're offering private label to all the independent users that they didn't offer before. Can't imagine why they're doing that. They work so closely with China. You think that's going to help America grow? Or is that an end run to help China get around the tariff laws? But no, not a peep. Not a peep from conservative pundits. What do I hear from conservative pundits? I hear critiques about Trump's tweets, which I can't even get over. Trump is the most successful conservative you've ever had since Reagan. You should be taking notes. You should be taking notes. He has bigger rallies than all of you. You should be taking notes. He had a bigger reality show than any of you. He had a bigger show. He has a bigger audience. He has more success. And he has done more in office than Reagan ever did in a year. Not only that, but what do I hear? What do I hear conservative pundits on Fox News all the time? Why hasn't he done this yet? Why hasn't he done this yet? Why hasn't he done this yet? And I'm sorry, but the Democrats just let him get Pompeo. He just got a Secretary of State nominated. I cannot believe conservatives are not pointing out. Like, all they are is like, why hasn't this happened? Why hasn't this happened? When I'm just like, you know what? As far as I know, I'm the only one that pointed out that Rand Paul, the Republican, was holding up the Pompeo vote. Which brings me to another question. Why is it that you guys are willing to go after Trump, but you will not go after any other Republican? You don't go after McCain. You don't go after Rand Paul. Why am I the first one to go after Lindsey Graham? Why is it left to me, an independent, to go after all the shills and find them out? Why am I finding the shills in your own party? I'm seeing shills on channels that shouldn't have shills. And they're easy to find. Oh my gosh, they speak the same way. They have the same thing. It's so easy. But you're so busy criticizing each other. And yes, I'm being hypocritical because I'm criticizing you. And I have debated that, which is why it's been so long for me to do a video. Because I'm like, wow, I will be criticizing conservatives. But then I was like, heck, I'm not a conservative. I'm a freaking independent. I'm right in the middle. And I wouldn't do it if I didn't think it had a chance of doing some good. Will you please take some notes? Will you please take some freaking notes from the guy who's having a success rate? You know why he's having a success rate? Because he is not abiding by PC. He's not abiding by being nice. And he's leading. Amazingly enough, he's leading. I don't know if you've noticed or not, but the tweets are a distraction. Just like Hillary comes out and she wears a big thing on the back of her thing just to get all the people like, it gets her in the news and it's a nice shiny object and you guys are just like bait. You're always like, oh, Trump's so good at baiting the press. And then you take the bait with Hillary every freaking time. Every time. But when she does something that actually indicates that something big's happened, you miss it. The main thing of all of this, please, please, please stop defending whatever little thing of values, the little script of values you think you are. You're not them. You are not. You're not. People are coming in floods and droves from the left. Liberals, ultra-liberals, moderate liberals, independents, libertarians, people who were never political, they are all coming. And you know why they're coming? Because they are being labeled conservative, conservative, conservative by the media. They're being stamped, boom, 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 because they believe in free speech. It's not their choice. And then they want to find out someone who thinks like them. And you guys are the only ones who are saying any of it. But then when they get there, what are you doing? You're talking about creation or abortion. It's not 30 years ago. It's like World War III. It's World War III. It's now. Can we please talk about issues now and not talk about the labels that separate and divide us? The left loves dividing us. And may I please just give a little bit of a request? Debating leftists is what they want. There's no bridging the divide with a terrorist. Communism's cancer. You know that. Leave. People who are interested will find you. You will make yourselves available. Be available. But your job should be to educate the public, because there is a vast, vast public out there that has no clue what's going on. They have no idea what's going on at college campuses. They have no idea what's going on in their own public school classrooms. They don't know that the UN has taken over their public classrooms, and teachers don't know that they have the right to call students little boys and little girls because it's the law. They have that freedom. There was no law passed. We, the people, did not agree on something else. The UN did. And why am I the one pointing out that the UN said free Sharia speech laws? What is the free, with PC is for Sharia free speech laws? Like, you guys are the researchers. You should be telling us that. For all of these things saying why, go find out. The answers are in the UN. The answers are on George Soros's websites. Read them. Read them. And then go flyer and educate the public. Like, why are you going into college institutions that are indoctrination places and thinking you'll save them there? Really? You make good fodder for them to fight. That's what they need. They need that. They need that for videos and to believe the right is hard-headed and stupid. It gives them good practice. So when it makes them believe going out into the public, they'll be able to run other people over because you're so nice. Your job is to tell the people of America what's happened to their libraries, what's happened to their books, what's happened to their history, and what's happened to the public schools. Do you know the power of a mailer? Do you know how cheap mailers are? Do you know the power of mailing a mailer of facts to a blue state that says, here are the 10 richest billionaires, all liberals? Who's the 1%? Liberals. Liberals are the 1%. Why do they support affirmative action? Because affirmative action has been proven to put kids and minorities who have to take out loans that they have a hard time paying back, especially when through affirmative action they are put into schools that they cannot handle, that they don't qualify for, which means that they then flunk out, which means they don't get that degree, which means it keeps them down. Maybe mail out some of the racist history of the KKK and the Democrats. Maybe just mail out some of the quotes of our forefathers or of Martin Luther King about his vision of black children and white children together, or maybe just of JFK being an NRA member, that we need a nation of Minutemen, and that there's a difference between Minutemen and MS-13. Why are the Democrats protecting MS-13 and taking away the rights of Minutemen that JFK wanted so many of? You know, why don't you do flyers like that and put them in people's mailboxes? In blue states. It's war out there. And you have a flood of refugees that have come to your shores. Please, please, please stop trying to label us. And please take the new banner of the new banner of conservatism The new banner of conservatism is we all bleed red, white, and blue. That's it. Conservatism today. Do you bleed red, white, and blue? I do too. Enough said. And then we go from there. Peace out, guys.